Well, Cecile, welcome to the show. It is great to see your smiling face. Great to visit with you.
Thank you for so much for having me. I'm excited to tell my story and just like hang out and talk.
Yeah, it is a pleasure. And obviously, I became aware of your situation through SCI. They had posted about it and even included a little write up that you had done on their website. And we're going to talk a lot about that. But first, just a little bit about you. You're joining us. You're on vacation. You're not
Yeah.
in. I think Tennessee is like 100 degrees. It's 102 in Texas today. So
Yeah.
you found some cooler temperatures somewhere.
Yeah. Migrated up north for the week.
Oh, nice, nice. And are you doing any fishing or anything?
Yeah. So I just kind of like, just like fishing with my pole on the pier. Nothing crazy. I'm with a girlfriend. So
Okay,
kind of doing that by myself. Some
right on.
alone time.
Yeah. How long have you been hunting?
So I kind of grew up. My dad is a huge hunter. I'm sure a lot of girls, that's their story
Mm-hmm.
is their dad grew up doing it. That's how they kind of like connected with their dad and spent time with him. My dad, so my great grandfather actually learned to hunt. Nash Buckingham was kind of his mentor.
Oh, wow.
I know. So he just kind of was like a really prominent hunter in Memphis and just in the South. After like Nash died, he kind of like picked off where Nash left off and when he regards to like conservation. And my dad told me he remembered growing up, going to my great grandfather's house, walking around. There was a Cape Buffalo above his fireplace, like, and being like, whoa, he's so cool. And
Right.
that's how my dad kind of started wanting to hunt more exotic game versus just ducks in Arkansas.
Right.
And that
Right.
was kind of
Okay.
my story too, because I watched my dad enjoy that. I saw him kind of light up when he was on a hunt and like the beauty of nature. And so I was like, oh, that's so fun. I want to spend time with my dad. Oh gosh, I want to hunt. I want to like enjoy the beauty of nature. So that's kind of how I started. And obviously, as I have grown up, I've had less time for it. Playing
Uh-huh.
sports. I also do like theater and acting and stuff. But it's been a great way to spend time with my dad. And yeah.
So, okay. What was the first thing you remember shooting?
Ducks. That's
Ducks?
kind of that's I live in Memphis, Tennessee. It's on the Mississippi River. We're right by the like kind of the Delta area. So Arkansas, we have a place in Arkansas. It's about 40 minutes away. It's in Dixie, Arkansas.
Uh-huh.
But we would spend weekends there. My whole family would go down for Thanksgiving, for opening weekend in
Right.
Arkansas. So my
Isn't
Thanksgiving,
Memphis where Ducks Unlimited is headquartered?
yes, Ducks
Yeah.
Unlimited is headquartered in Memphis. So
Yeah.
it's a big part of culture here. It's a big part of our family. That's how we spend
Mhm.
time together on Thanksgiving is opening season. My dad goes out for that first hunt and then we share our meal together after that.
So, how old were you? And I'm asking because my son is 9. I got him a 410 shotgun, and he shot two whitetails and a black buck. But the scatter gun
Wow.
scares me a little more, just because like I can control the situation if we're in a blind and I can point the rifle in the
Yeah.
direction. And he finds animal and he does everything on his own. But like having ducks coming in and a shotgun, like you're turning this way, shoot these ducks on the left side, or whatever.
Yeah.
That one seems a little more sketchy. So how old were you when your dad said, "Here, see, here's a shotgun. We're going duck hunting."
I was probably 5 when I went on my first hunt
Uh-huh.
and
He just
probably
hasn't shot.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was probably older. I was probably 12
Okay.
before my dad. My brothers, I have two younger brothers,
Mm-hmm.
and he let them shoot when they were like 8, but me
Yeah.
like probably 12.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna let him like try to shoot a dove this year, like
Yeah, yeah. The
September
doves are
1st.
probably a good starter.
Um, and we'll see how that goes, and then maybe we'll let him shoot a duck off the water or something.
Yeah, no, that's how. So my dad, when my little brothers first started hunting, they were probably 8, and he handed them a 22, and they would just go. I think they kind of like pretended they were hunting mostly,
Uh-huh.
but they would go in. We have like a flooded timber, but they would go in more of like the woods area and like track squirrels and different like rodents and try to get ducks, but mostly just pretend.
Yeah.
And that's how they started.
So what was the first big game animal that you killed?
Probably a deer. Yeah, I can't remember exactly. I was probably 12. A deer. Yeah, and we don't go deer hunting a lot. We have a place in Mississippi that we deer hunt, but my dad likes duck hunting more.
Okay.
Than deer hunting.
So how did you end up in South Africa?
So this is actually my third time there. And this is my first time hunting there. I've been on hunts there, but haven't actually gone out because I kind of been hanging out with the women inside and stuff. But this is my first
boring.
Yeah, I know. It was time to upgrade.
Right.
But it was my first big hunt there. It's my senior trip.
Oh, cool.
So I just graduated high school, headed off to college, and so that was one thing I wanted to do for my bucket list on my senior trip. So hopped on a plane, traveled for 17 hours.
Most 18-year-old girls want to like go to Cancun and get drunk, you know? Like, I want to go to Africa and go hunting.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Exactly. I love
hope my
adventure.
girls are just like you.
Well, I like that stuff too, but I love to spend time with my dad, and that's the best way to do it is hunting.
Yeah. And so did you have a list of things that, you were going to target?
Yeah. So we already have a wildebeest and 2 kudus at our house. So I was like, I'll go for the kudu if one that's big enough comes, but like I want to try something new, get some new stuff for our house. So one thing that we didn't have was a zebra. And so that was the top of my list, like has been for a while. I think they're the most beautiful animal. And they're also like, it's not super hard to hunt. They kind of travel in a pack, They're not like an incredibly like difficult to hunt animal. So I was like, I'll go for that first. Cause I've seen my dad hunt in Africa, but I was like, what am I doing? Like, I've never been here before. Start something easy. So zebra was number 1. And then I really wanted an impala, and warthog was number 2 on my list. So I wanted a warthog so bad.
Awesome. Yeah. Those are all things I shot on my first safari. Impala was the first thing. They're like, yeah, we're going to warm up on the Impala.
Yeah.
And I think the second thing I shot, I think we were looking for an eland, but just came across the Burchell zebras, and opportunity. You just take what Africa gives you. If it's on your list, you could be hunting one thing, but if it's something you want to hunt, now you're hunting that, because it's so crazy coming from Texas or Tennessee where it's like you have a white-tailed deer tag. I'm hunting white-tailed deer all season. I might not see one this hunt, but over there it's like there could be 10 different animals I'm interested in, which is why Africa is just so addicting. So the first thing you shot was the zebra?
Yeah. So day 1, we were literally straight off the plane. I was totally jet lagged, but I was like, guys, I need to get this zebra. Like, I have to feel accomplished day 1. I have to feel like I did something. And like, honestly, I had no idea if it was going to be hard or easy to get one. Like, I really had no idea. I was like, is this going to take all day? What? And we ended up in the first 30 minutes of the hunt. It was the most exhilarating, exciting hunt of my life. Like, I'm not even kidding. Yeah. But it was just one of those moments where everything like got set up perfectly. And so we had our guy in the truck who was going to go on the road to the other side of where the zebras were and kind of like trick them to coming closer. And then we were like tiptoeing in the bush, and then my PH, his name is Will, he was like freaking out. He set up my shooting sticks, and he was like, he pointed, and there was one all by itself, just standing there about 200 yards away, like in perfect shot, perfect setup. And like my heart was beating so fast, and I was like, this is my moment. I better not miss. Like, first shot of the day, 25 minutes in, like, let's go. And then I aimed and I shot, and it was down on contact, and I was like, and I like breathed out, and it was like literally the most exciting moment of my life.
That's so awesome. I love it. I love to hear you just talk. You can hear the excitement in your voice, see the smile on your face. That's what it's all about. What caliber were you shooting?
I was shooting a 300 Magnum. I can't remember. So
like 300 Win Mag.
Yeah, 300 Win Mag. But basically United Airlines lost all of our guns
Oh
on the
my
way to
God.
South Africa. I don't know if that was purposeful or what. This was 2 days after the big shooting in Texas.
Uh-huh.
So guns were hard to get anywhere,
Yeah.
like especially on a US airline. I don't even know what happened. We ended up getting them after we got back to the US, but I was just shooting my PH's gun,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
So I was kind of mad because I got a new gun for the trip that was super light because I like to shoot one that's lighter,
Uh-huh.
and they lost it,
And what
but it's all
caliber
good
was
now.
that?
It was, I have it on my phone. I can't remember exactly,
Six
but
five Creedmoor?
I think that's exactly what it
Uh-huh.
was. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the lightest one they had at the shop we were at. And I was like, I
Yeah.
like the way this feels.
American, in my experience, and I've only flown to Africa one time on American, and I won't ever do it again.
Yeah.
They are the worst. And domestically they're terrible too. But I'm sorry that they lost your guns. It all worked out though. So you dropped
Yeah.
this zebra. What did you? I mean, did you have a place already picked out in the house where you want to put it?
So I'm actually taking it to college.
Oh, nice.
I'm moving up to New York City, and this is another part of like my story of what happened. But
Uh-huh.
I'm headed to a liberal arts school there, and it's called the King's College. I don't know if you've ever heard of it,
Mm-mm.
but it's on Wall Street, downtown in the financial district of
Mm.
Manhattan. And so I'm living in an apartment down there, and I mean I talked with my roommates, and I'm putting that zebra rug in my Manhattan apartment.
I love it. I love it. I had a buddy, a high school buddy, whose wife is like really into interior decorating.
Yeah.
And they don't really hunt, and she certainly doesn't hunt. But I had told them I'm going to Africa. I'm going to shoot a zebra, and she was like, "Can I have it?" And I was like, "Really? You
What?
want it?" I was like, "Yeah." So I said, "If you want to do the taxidermy, you can have it." So she got it shoulder mounted, and it's in their house, and they don't even hunt. I mean, that
No, they're
just tells you
beautiful
how pretty they
animals.
are. Yeah,
Yeah, they really are.
yeah.
They're stunning.
Okay, let's do this. Let's just take a quick commercial break. I want to come back and really get into what happened after
Okay.
you shot the zebra. So we'll knock out a break here. Okay, I'll put a break in. Cecile, thanks for sticking around. I certainly
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
Enjoying the conversation and enjoying the, like I said, just how enthusiastic you are about your love for hunting, and you wanted to go to Africa for your senior trip. So cool. I hope my girls do that. So you knocked down the zebra on the first day, and
Yep.
what Africa's like 8 hour, I think it's 8 hour time difference
It's 8.
from certainly Central Time. You're probably Eastern, but 7 or 8 hours. So you probably get back, take a shower, and at some point you throw it up on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. So we had dinner. We had some what did we have for dinner? I can't remember. I think it was some kudu meat, but we had dinner, all of us in the PHs. It was a great meal. I'm 18 and it was legal to drink there. So I had my first legal drink with my dad, which was a sweet moment. And so after that, I got on my phone. It was kind of like late, just scrolling through. I got some cool pictures of just like some giraffes and of course a zebra. So I posted them and on my Instagram. And I live in Tennessee. Hunting is big. I mean, I've grown up around it. A lot of my guy friends have gone on hunts in Africa. So I like never thought twice about like posting my kill. Like I just thought like you either comment good shot or you don't say anything at all. Like that's how I was brought up.
Right.
So it was
live
definitely
and let live.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was definitely a shock when that's not how it was received.
Yeah. And so you go to sleep and then just wake up to a nightmare?
Well, okay. Actually, so I went to sleep and I woke up and we had no service other than the Wi-Fi in our like the place we were staying.
Yeah.
And so I got up really early at 6 a.m. to go hunt a kudu. I believe, yeah, it was a kudu with my friend. And he brought his daughter too. So I was hanging out with his daughter. And we went on a kudu hunt so that she could get her kudu. And I did not look at my phone. I think it was almost 21 hours later. And of course, that was, yeah, there's a lot of on my phone. It was insane. I think there was
Yeah.
6,000 comments at that point.
So a couple anti-hunters get on there, and then they just start telling their friends,
Yeah,
go beat up this girl, make her feel
exactly.
horrible. It's funny because you can shoot a kudu and
Exactly.
there will be no hate. Like nobody
It looks like a
cares.
deer.
Yeah. You shoot I shot a giraffe last year. My kids
Uh-huh.
were like, Dad, shoot a giraffe. So it was my 5th time over there. I was like, okay, fine, I'll shoot a giraffe. And I knew immediately I was going to lose. Number one, lose followers. I don't care
Followers.
though. It doesn't matter to me. Probably get rid of them anyway.
Yeah.
And then number two, the comments are going to be like, there wasn't 6,000, but there was plenty of, you're an asshole. Why
Hate.
would you shoot
Yeah.
a giraffe? What? Well, why is it any different than a kudu? It just has spots and it's bigger. A zebra has stripes, but people are like, oh, it's a horse. Well,
Yeah.
they're
No,
not,
it's not a horse.
not domesticated at all. So the things that these people said to you, I'm sure was pretty shocking. You probably hadn't experienced that before.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, I tried not to really look at the evil comments, but of course they were there. And so I
Yeah.
did scroll through and see a few of them. And some friends who basically the hunting community in Memphis really surrounded me and supported me, which was a really great feeling. But I even had some friends that saw comments I didn't that absolutely blew my mind. Like there was the usual ones that were like, you're disgusting, I hope you die. And then there was like very crude and like sexualizing me, talking about my personal life, and people who had no idea my background, no idea my family story, no idea my race, saying that I was like a colonizer, talking about like, oh, of course that white girl is there doing that. And they honestly, like, it's really sad that people will say that stuff and they have no idea your story, no idea like your family's story. And like, it was really sad.
Yeah. So they called you a white supremacist.
Yeah, a white supremacist. And like the funny thing is my mom's actually an immigrant from Cuba.
Wow.
So like I'm like a first generation American.
Yeah.
And we also have I have an adopted brother from Ethiopia. And so
Wow.
like I was just like, no, like you have no idea
Yeah.
my life, my story. And it's just really sad. And honestly, like I started to see, and I'd kind of been taught this at the school I grew up going to, how like cancel culture is this like you see something and you immediately react to it and you have no idea anything behind the picture or the moment in time. You just see and react and you assume and you guess. And that is so dangerous.
Yeah, no, 100%. Absolutely agree with you. And I mean, you're talking to somebody who at like 145,000 followers just had their Instagram page deleted for a month with no,
That is crazy.
no warning. No, I mean, I had some infractions, but like the things that I got like a violation for were, here's a picture of a deer at a feeder. And I said, I'm thinking about letting my son shoot this deer. And then they would flag me for inciting violence and coordinating harm, which the action hadn't even been committed. It was a live deer sitting at a feeder. And then my page was just gone for over a month. And then you don't have any recourse. And like, you can report these people that are telling you, I mean, they'll say things like, oh, I hope your kids get hit by an 18-wheeler, stuff like that. Report them. It doesn't matter. Then Instagram turns around and says, oh, that doesn't violate our community guidelines. Like it's a one-way street. They don't like hunting. They don't like guns. They don't like conservative values. But I mean, your background coming from your mom who immigrated from Cuba, you have an African-American brother. Exactly. And these people are calling you a white supremacist. It's mind-blowing.
It is. And it's called, the concept, I learned it in school, it's called log rolling. And what they'll do is they'll take one thing and one issue and they'll attach it to all these other ones. And even we as Republicans, we do it sometimes. So what they'll do is they'll see Africa and they'll see a gun and a zebra. And so they think endangered animal, they think Africa, which is the African race. And then they see a gun, which is gun control or whatever. And those are three issues that aren't attached to trophy hunting whatsoever, but three symbols in their head that they'll attach like racism, they'll attach colonization, and they'll attach like environmental protection of animals to that, and they'll immediately assume that you're for all those things and you're against what they believe in, which is totally not true, and they're totally separate issues, and it's crazy.
You know what I believe in? The exact thing that they preach, but they don't do, which is live and let live. And
exactly,
they're only cool with that until you no longer fit their narrative, and then they want to throw you to the wolves, bully you into submission, make you feel like crap. So the best thing to do is just ignore it. It's hard to do when 6,000 people are jamming up your Instagram with all negativity. But here's the reality: is they don't do it on the same level to men. They do it to attractive women. And here's why: it's because it makes them uncomfortable. It invalidates their stance. Like, if a woman can do it, then it can't be that
really
bad,
aggravates
right?
them. Yeah.
It should be fine if they were like, oh, these bloodthirsty men, toxic masculinity, they assume that guys will do it, but they don't understand it. They can't wrap their mind around the fact that, yes, there are women, plenty of them out there, and it's the fastest growing segment of our hunting community. But there's plenty of them out there who are conservationists, who love big game hunting. And they can't understand it. I think it scares them.
It was sad to me because it seemed on my comments, I looked at like the demographic, and I saw on there was I saw a lot of women tearing me down, and I saw that most of the hate was women, and a lot of the support and people encouraging me, not because of my looks, but because they understood that what I was doing was okay, were men. And that didn't align in my head, because I thought, we women, this generation of women is so, let's build girls up, like women support women. But I didn't see that on my post.
Yeah.
I only see women supporting women when we do women things. Right. I don't see women supporting women when we do men things.
Yeah.
And it doesn't align with other political, and of course all the abortion stuff, like my body, my choice, let's support women. But what happens when I want to shoot a zebra legally?
Yeah. And I don't even want to say it's doing man things. I would say it's like historically associated with like a manly thing to do. But like I said, more and more women going on safari these days, which I think is so cool. I can't wait to take my twin girls someday in the not too distant future. But again, they hate what they don't understand. They can't wrap their mind around a pretty face taking a life, and especially something with stripes or spots. It just like makes their heads want to explode. You didn't do this though, like Kendall Jones. It was very calculated. I think there was the intent to get famous off of her situation. You didn't go into this with that intent.
No, it was my senior trip.
Yeah.
Joe, like my friends who went to Cancun. I'm gonna show my memories of my senior trip.
Right. Zebra meat's phenomenal, by the way.
Yeah, it was pretty like a sweet meat when we tried it, and I kind of like more gamey meat, but I didn't mind it.
Yeah. So what is next on your? One other thing I read. So these idiots then called your college admissions department.
Yeah.
They came to your house too?
Yeah. So this, honestly, none of it fazed me until they started bringing college into it. Because obviously, like, I'm going to a liberal arts school in New York City. It's actually a Christian liberal arts school in New York City. It's the only one in New York. And basically, the people clicked, I had it at King's College in my bio on my Instagram. And so they clicked that and they saw liberal arts. So they immediately thought, like, oh, we can get her kicked out because this is a liberal arts school. What they didn't know was it's actually, like, King's College is actually famous for protecting students' individual rights and making sure that we align with the Constitution. And we're actually known for being a school where patriots go or whatever. Oh, wow. I have a guy friend who got kicked out of his college, St. John's in New York, for not wanting to get vaccinated, and he transfer to King's where you don't need a vaccination
of
any kind. And they had a call with me after all this happened, because they were like, we want you to make sure that you know that we know that what you did was okay, and we're excited to have you in the fall. So that was really encouraging, but it was really, really, really stressful thinking that there was a possibility that I might not get to go to college.
And that people are trying to ruin your life because they're losers and they don't have anything better to do.
Exactly.
And that's the bottom line. Like, how big of a loser do you have to be? Okay, you don't want to hunt a zebra? You don't have to. You know what?
You don't have to.
That's fine. How does it affect you? It doesn't. And these people go out of their way to get so angry and have so much hate in their hearts to try to ruin someone's life. Like, it's beyond despicable. It doesn't make any sense.
I know. And like the effect that it had on like the rest of my trip, I tried to like not let it phase me, but it definitely put a stress on like my mental health for the rest of the trip. And the same community and group of people who are advocating for mental health and like women's rights are the same people that will in a second tear down a woman and affect her mental health without a second thought. And it's really sad.
That's a great point that you bring up. Like, you're on this senior trip, you've you just described it as one of the best moments of your life, shooting the zebra, and then for the rest of the trip now you've got this thing weighing heavy on your shoulders. Like, why are these people acting like this to me? What did I do?
Exactly.
And to me, the answer is you didn't do anything except practice sustainable use hunting, which is awesome. Did you end up shooting another animal on the trip?
Yes. So I did end up getting an impala, a warthog. What else did I get? So we ended up getting a lot. I did not post any rest of my game that I got, just because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't riling people back up and seeming like I was trying to get attention. I did keep the post up, and I've kept it up. I'm trying to just kind of like take a break from social media other than just posting my other trips I'm going on and then getting off. But it's sad that I have to do that.
It is.
Honestly.
It is. Absolutely. What is the next thing on your bucket list as far as hunting goes?
Hunting. Honestly, the next thing on my bucket list is elk hunting. And
Nice.
I think that I'm going to be doing that in November with my dad. I've always wanted to do that. He did it 2 years ago. And I just think I love Colorado. I spent my summer there last year, and I love mountains in general. I have a mountain tattoo.
I see that. That's awesome. Yeah.
But elk is my next thing.
I am going elk hunting in Wyoming. I drew a tag there. So yeah.
That'll be so cool.
Yes. I don't ever miss an elk season. You're going to get addicted to that, just like Africa.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. It is tough to beat.
Expensive.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you're going to go with an outfitter, it is a little pricey, but if you do it the DIY way, that can be quite affordable, but it's pretty physically demanding. So if you're cut out for the mountains, it might be your cup of tea. You never know. If you want to tell folks where they can find you and support you, I don't know direct people to your Instagram or don't, it doesn't matter to me, but we have a whole community of people that would love to support you, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's really kind of you to suggest. My Instagram is at Cecile Ozier. That's CELIEOZ. And if people want to follow my hunting journey and just my journey of trying to be a conservative woman in New York City, they can go find me there. I will definitely be like constantly standing up for what I know is right and true, and supporting other people in New York who are trying to be conservative and like continue to protect their own individual rights. And so that's going to be a journey for sure.
Yeah. My wife lived on the Upper East Side of Manhattan for 3 years when we were dating. So, and she's from Texas. And so I did spend, I probably went up there 10 times or so to visit, and I liked visiting New York. I couldn't live there, but there is so much history and culture there. It's a cool place to visit. I'm not down with the new gun laws. They're ramming down people's throats and stuff.
That's
but
a little.
I know that you won't go woke, on your college journey. So we'll just we'll put that in the bank because it ain't going to happen. You're a good old Southern gal who understands the value in what you did over there, and the fact that the more people that actually hunt these animals, the more viable their populations and the long-term outlook for these species is. So
yeah, people definitely didn't understand that there's not just free roaming animals in Africa. They're all fenced in on reservations, and it's pretty similar to hunting in the States.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, hey, thank you so much for your time. I certainly appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to meet you.
You too. Good luck in the Big Apple.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Take care.